It is Monday, not quite the morning, early afternoon, but going to be warming up on the rollers, then getting out on the TT bike for circa 4 by 10 minutes threshold. So yeah, get some longer efforts in the TT bike, just get a feel for it. Weather's not too great the rest of the week, so probably some zone 2 on the turbo on the TT bike, but get outside and get outdoors on the bike, do some efforts. Pretty tired, to be honest. Ever since I got back from Latvia, I've been getting up at a very sensible time for me, like between 7 and 8. A bit earlier on the Thursday, where I was had to train in the morning and then went to see Matt, help out with Matt. But for the most part, I've been getting up at really sensible time. But I was obviously very tired last night. And yeah, snooze the 7 o'clock alarms and laid until 10. But just gonna get my session done. Rest day tomorrow. 2 days on, 1 day off. First race of the season. Warm up on the rollers. Gonna do some like gear efficiency testing while I'm doing that. See the effect of the most effective chain line. Like how much more efficient is it than being in the 11 tooth or the 30 tooth, the 1 and the 12 gear. Take some bicarb this morning. Got a where's the slurry? Got a slurry of xanthan gum and sugar. Make it a bit easier on the stomach. Got a freaking sweat on there. Did my warm up as like a gear efficiency test. So start out in the easiest gear, spun out, lapped for a minute, and then went down the gears, lapping a minute at each one, kind of finding like the maximal cadence I could sustain and try and lock to a power target. So I'll have a look at the data and like scale it. The difference should be like the efficiency of the gear, but yeah, we'll have a look at it, see how smooth I was. But all right. But yeah, warmed up now, so get out for the session. Good session that. Was originally intending on doing like 4 by 10 minute threshold up Manchester Road. And the section I was doing, I realised was probably going to be more like 12 minutes. So I was thinking, okay, I'll do 4 by 12. Got 8 odd minutes into the first one, and then hit some temporary traffic lights. And luckily, I was able to go through it. Got it on the green. But I knew that if I was doing my efforts up and down that road, then likelihood was I was going to have to stop for at least a couple of them. So I decided to keep pushing over the top. So did like a 12-minute effort, and then downhill section for a couple minutes. Dropped my phone out my back pocket. I heard that fly out, so I was like, shit, need to go get that. Bit of like a mixed threshold effort. So I was kind of just going with the terrain, pushing where I could. Obviously, downhills and technical sections, I was having to coast, so coming off the gas. But did like an out and back, that start of Strines and then back up Manchester Road. So that was about 12 minutes, but probably only on the gas for like 9-10 minutes of that. Then descended again, 4 or 5 minute threshold effort. Went up to Lodge Moor, so did like a 3-minute effort to get over the hill, and then did like a bit of a loop, which was again a mixed threshold effort, so probably like 10 minutes. Then descended, short threshold effort, maybe 3 minutes, descend, and then final like 8 minutes to that set of traffic lights. So maybe like an hour and 15, probably like 45 minutes of work at threshold. So that like sort of mixed threshold effort, threshold session that I've done before on the road bike. Just pushing where you can, and then being sensible with the downhill and the technical sections where you can't be on the gas. But yeah, felt like a good session, getting used to the position. Not absolutely destroyed like I have been. Nice to end the 3-day block with that. Bit of a saddle sore on the left side, probably from yesterday at the track. But yeah, pretty tired, but managing to get some quality session in, and then not too crazy for the rest of the week. And then got my first race on Saturday, so that'll be really good. Ooh. Definitely need to give the bike a clean though. Okay, but why is it snowing though? The heck? It's almost April. on the turbo for a couple of hours zone 2, making some changes to the TT bike. Started out with very high stack, trying to bury my head a little bit more, but felt like that just wasn't working, so I've gone to a much more reasonable stack compared to the old bike, because this is a size small compared to a medium. It's basically like 1 centimetre higher compared to last year. Feeling much more disciplined with my position after months of work on the track, to be honest. But just holding that nice position down by my hands, but with really good visibility up the road, because obviously riding on the track, visibility isn't as important. In the road, you need to see where you're going. It's a little bit different to the old position, so I'm a bit more forward, a bit more aggressive on the shoulders, so definitely taking some getting used to. But yeah, I think it's going to be good in the long term. So keep working at that. My boxer bits. Sleepy. 8:15 now. Well, it's 20 past actually. So about an hour and 20 minutes to get to Derby this morning. Got an extra half an hour in bed because I'm not doing the second half of drop-in. There's actually no slot for it, weirdly. But I'm doing the pursuit slot, which is 9:30 till 10:30, then the sprint slot, which is 10:30 till 12:30. And then I'm going to Colville to help out Matt at the shop. So yeah, should be good. Gonna be doing some testing with on the track this morning, so I'll see how that goes. I'm feeling alright, feeling tired though, to be honest. But yeah, get a good session in, then like a rest day / openers tomorrow, and then first TT of the season on Saturday, so that's going to be exciting. Over an hour before I'm on track, so yeah. Nice sunshine and blue skies all the way here at least. That was good. Lovely day, but it's bloody cold this morning, I tell you that. Good session at the track there, then I'll head on to Colville now to see Matt and help out the shop. Long day, good session at the track, and then continued down to Colville and helped out with Matt at the shop for a couple of hours. Just getting back and bringing my bike in. I noticed this right at the start of my track session. My saddle is so out of whack. The ISM. Look how much that nose pitches down on the left. I think my left leg's longer and it's weaker. And the saddle clamp, it's a bit to the side, but from the back it's like it doesn't look too bad. But then it's like the saddle is all twisted. Well weird. I'll take that off and see. I mean, it's super far forward on the railings. Ideally I'd get this out and put it back into this one, but it's kind of really stiff, jammed in there. But that looks so weird, so funky. So out of whack. Jesus Christ, look at that. Matt would not be impressed with me. Clamped up funny because I've just untightened it and it seems much better already. Still a bit of a strange one, to be honest. There we go. Wasn't expecting to get that one out tonight. That's been a one that I've come back to a few times and given up on. But yeah, I can put it back in the other one so that I can clamp the saddle, get the saddle far forward, but have it clamped in a better place, so hopefully it doesn't twist like that. Obviously there's big extrapolation, but as you go to the smaller gear, you're getting less speed out for a given power output. The major drop off comes from when you're in the bigger gear compared to you're in the smaller sprocket compared to the bigger gear. Now the speeds and power were different because of how I was doing it on the rollers. So maybe if you normalize the power, but then you kind of have to pick a cadence, because I was doing like 130 in the easiest gear. I was doing 113 RPM for just over 100 watts. So I guess do all of them at 100 watts, but then you're down at like 40 RPM. But that might provide some better data. Just getting everything ready. First race of the season this afternoon. So 11 o'clock now, aiming to leave just after 12. Phil Williams Memorial outside of Liverpool. So yeah, just checking I've got everything. Yeah, first one of the season, so need to do my double checks, check sure I've got everything. But yeah, should be good.
Here we go. Let's push it to the finish line.
Thank you. Wow, that was a tough race. Home now. Yeah, took a while to get there. Pretty bad traffic through Glossop and Manchester, so took like best part of 2.5 hours to get there when it should have been like an hour and 45 with some traffic. I think I checked on Google Maps at rush hour on like Wednesday or something. It was like an hour 45, and I'm like, okay, if you get a good run of it, it'll be an hour and a half. But yeah, ended up getting there about an hour before, so it was actually all right in terms of timings. Just meant get there, get the bike sorted, crack on with it. Did a classic me. I think I set off to warm up about 13 minutes before my start time, and I know the roads quite well because we did a road race there last year. I kind of went downhill with a tailwind and then turned around thinking, okay, I'll go back, and then back to the car, and the car was like less than a minute from the start, basically. But then I realised, like, hang on a second, I've just gone down this shallow hill with a tailwind. I've got 8 minutes to get to the start. That might be cutting it a bit fine. So I ended up like continuing round and going past the finish, which is a no go. You try and never do that, and it was totally unnecessary. But I'd fucked up the timings, and I'm like, I need to get to the start. That's going to be quicker than going back on myself. But yeah, I made it to the start with a couple of minutes to spare. Sorted out my lights, got them turned on, and then cracked on with it. But it was a super windy day. Jeez, man, that was great. Like, that's the windiest race I've ever done. Like, they were planning on like potentially calling it off because of the strong winds. Like BBC Weather, you get the black wind boxes when it's extreme wind. So it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It was like 40 mile an hour, and then it calmed down to like 20. But the race started at 2. I was off at 20 to 4. But the wind was like probably calming down a little bit, but it was still like it was like probably like 20 mile an hour average with like gusts of 40 plus. So yeah, just out on the course, it was so windy, like properly choppy, like hard to ride the bike, but you just like in certain sections you were just going absolutely nowhere. So nice single carriageway downhill section at the start, and it's like, okay, we're chugging along here. This is really good. And then you move on to the first dual carriageway section, and I'm just like, I'm in my position, I'm pushing hard, just going nowhere, absolutely nowhere, mate. And it's just like bloody hell. I go around this roundabout. I'm like in the extensions around the roundabout, barely going, not even going 40k an hour. It's like fucking. It was so tough. Then that next section, compared to going at like 40k an hour into this block headwind, I think I was going like 67k an hour, so like 40 plus miles an hour, slight downhill tailwind. Then got to that roundabout, I had to basically come to a stop. Like definitely lost a few seconds and lost all my speed. I'd had to stop for that roundabout when I first got to it after the single carriageway section. So yeah, really got lost quite a bit of time and a lot of speed on those roundabouts, which yeah, really would have helped conserving that. Could have been, I don't know how much it would have been, but yeah, got round, and Jake Sargent, so my teammate, but then also Adam Duggleby were there, so two really strong riders, and fair play, Adam put like best part of a minute into me. I did 20:21, came second. Adam did 19:36. He was off 20 minutes after me, and I mean, he could have had worse conditions than me. He could have, but I mean, 20 minutes when the conditions are that variable. I mean, I finished when he'd started because I was just over 20 minutes. The conditions could have changed like so much. I doubt it was good. It wouldn't by no means would have been good conditions, but generally the wind was dying down over the course of the event. Like the guys, the two up at the start, like that would have been those were the first guys off just after 2 p.m. Um, and that could have been like ridiculous. But yeah, it was good. It was good to get an outing on the TT bike. Power meter was kind of useless. I mean, I was looking at it and I'm just like, these values don't seem like very useful at all. So I kind of just ignored it. And with my new position, I've kind of got my hand on my when I'm not fatigued. When I'm fatigued, my head's up. But when I'm dialed in, I got my chin on my hands and I can see perfectly up the road. But I can't really see my head unit without adjusting. But when I was catching a glimpse of it, I was just like 300 something watts, and I'm like, doesn't quite seem right. I'm pretty sure I'm trying harder than that. Um, but then afterwards, it was like 370 average or something, which isn't bad, obviously, but it's just not correct for what I know I can do. And I mean, I'm far from top fitness, but I'm not like, yeah, it's just wrong. I mean, I did 2 outdoor sessions already, and I did them on tired legs, 5 by 5 minutes at almost 420 watts, and then I did a threshold session where the longest threshold effort I did in that session was like 13 minutes at probably 380, 390. So yeah, I should have been at least over 400 today. But it is what it is. So try and figure out that over the next week because I've got a race, Good Friday 10 miler in Hull, classic event for me. Done that 2024, 2025. Trying to defend my title, bit washed. So, but yeah, I mean, it's end of March. I'm not expecting to be in top form, far from top form, and it's going to come with time. And yeah, I don't want to be flying at this time of year. But yeah, kind of annoying because it's like I can't learn so much from it because the power data is just useless. I mean, if I take the power data at face value, my CDA is incredible. I know it's not, but yeah, it would have been good to get a decent benchmark to be like, okay, I'm at 420 watts when I was at 425 last year, sort of thing. But yeah, that will come with training that I get an idea of where I'm at, and I know I have a lot of fitness to gain, especially it's that longer stuff. My top end from the track is actually really good, even though I've been off the bike, even though only been back to training for a bit over 2 weeks. Like when I've been back to the track, my efforts have been pretty damn strong, I'd say. But obviously the longer endurance stuff, the VO2 max, the threshold, that's where I'm lacking, and that's gonna come up nicely with time as I get more outdoor riding in, just get more volume in general. But yeah, good to support the event. Matt was there. He sponsored the event. They got a T-shirt made for Phil Williams because this was a Phil Williams memorial. Phil unfortunately died in the Mallorca 312 event. I think that was just a bit under 2 years ago, April or May time, because he comes second at the National Road Bike Champs, and that was the first event of the year. That was mid-April. So the Mallorca 312 event was a little bit after that. And yeah, unfortunately, he had a bad crash and yeah, lost his life. And he was really good friends with Matt, good friends with Adam Duggleby. That's why Duggleby was there. And organised by his first claim club. He was a team bottrel rider, but before that he was a Liverpool Braveheart rider. So that was the organisation that put on the event. So really really nice guys who are putting on the event. Really really nice to chat to. Like the starter, I think it was the starter, and I chat to the starter at the end who'd made his way back to the HQ because I'd gone the wrong way, and I was saying to him like, oh, I went the wrong way, and I was failing to clip in when he was holding me up on the start line. It's like so me, man. But yeah, really, really nice event, and yeah, good to have something to celebrate Phil's life. Picked up a book. I'm not sure if that they were handing out. I think they might have been Phil's old books, but added to the collection of of cyclist books I've got, especially at Christmas this year. I got a bunch of them. Me and my girlfriend have been reading them, but got the Geraint Thomas one to add to the collection, and yeah, good stuff. So yeah, definitely stuff to work on. Long way off my best, I'd say, but you know, it's a starting point. Get that first hard effort in the legs. Oh yeah, heart rate monitor was a bit all over the shop as well. Like that wasn't working to start out with, and then by the end I hit 189, which would be a all-time heart rate PB. So I'm not sure if that's accurate either, but yeah, it's good stuff. No team pursuit today. Bixie's not feeling too well, so just crack on with like 2.5 hours zone 2 on the turbo. Made some adjustments to the TT bike, playing around with different cleat position, change the saddle brackets so I can move the saddle further forward and it's more stable on the rails. So yeah, just tapping away. Core seems to be reading okay with the kicker. I haven't calibrated it, so who knows about yesterday. But it's typically saying that my left leg's doing more work, and in zone 2 my left right balance isn't too bad. Trying to get to harder efforts that my left leg really struggles and my right leg's doing much more work. But yeah, a bit strange, but I'll figure that out in the next few days and before the next TT on Good Friday in Hull. That'll be good. There we go, 2.5 hours, good stuff.